William Shakespeare, Twelfth Night. Now let's take the example of Twelfth Night, appreciation of Twelfth Night. Let us now try to understand the meaning and beauty of the play Twelfth Night and draw out its significance. Let us more deeply appreciate that great work of art, one of Shakespeare's great comedies. So what is the story of Twelfth Night? Plot of Twelfth Night. Place. Illyria is a place. Time is after Christmas. That's why the name Twelfth Night, 12 days after Christmas. Characters are Duke Orsino, Olivia, Viola. But Viola has another character because she becomes a man also in the middle as a disguise. Viola also Cesario in male disguise. Sebastian is Viola's twin brother. Antonio, friend who helps Sebastian. Malvolio, steward of Olivia's household. Feste, clown, Maria, Olivia's maid. Sir Toby, uncle of Olivia, and Sir Andrew, a knight hoping to marry Olivia. Now, what is the story? A ship gets wrecked at the island of Illyria, and in that ship, Viola and Sebastian get separated, and in fact, Viola thinks that Sebastian has died, as he is not seen. She decides to work for the noblewoman Olivia, but Olivia is not taking anyone right now. She's in mourning due to her brother's recent death and does not want to marry. So she decides to disguise herself as a man, Viola, and goes to work for the Duke Orsino. She gets employment there. So we have Olivia staying alone, Duke Orsino, in whose household Viola comes to work disguised as a man. Olivia actually is in love. Orsino is actually is in love with Olivia. Now what we have to know here is Orsino wants to marry Olivia, but as she is not ready to marry, he has to wait. This is the setting of the comedy. So we have four characters. Sebastian, who got lost in the shipwreck. Viola, who came and is working for Duke Orsino. Olivia, who doesn't want to marry now, but Duke Orsino wants to marry Olivia. That's the setting. That is the setting of the comedy. Now, Orsino finds Cesario, Viola only, very charming and attractive, and she's in disguise, becomes his favorite. Soon he sends Cesario, which means Viola in disguise, to Olivia with a love message. But here is the twist. Olivia finds Cesario. Actually, Cesario is a girl. Viola. Olivia finds Cesario attractive and falls in love with him. Actually, it's her, but there is no Cesario. Cesario is Viola, actually a woman. In the meantime, the uncle of Olivia, Sir Toby, comes to the scene to get his friend Andrew, a knight, to woo Olivia. Olivia is not interested. Malvolio is a steward in Olivia's house, and he is a very strict, stern, and according to others, a spoiler of fun. So people think Malvolio is always spoiling the fun. We have Maria, the maid of Olivia, who is very witty, intelligent, and fun-loving. We also have Feste, who is a clown. Malvolio is very critical of too much fun that Feste and Maria make in the house to teach him a lesson. Now, Maria wants to teach Malvolio a lesson, so Maria copies the handwriting of Olivia and writes a love letter to Malvolio. Poor Malvolio thinks he has got a great chance now, and he follows the instructions in the letter to wear yellow stockings and behave in a certain way. In the meantime, Sebastian, with the help of a friend, comes back. Now, actually, Sebastian did not die. Viola's twin brother, his friend is Andrew. Sebastian comes to Olivia's house when Viola, that is Cesario, is not there. Now, since Sebastian is a twin of Viola, he looks like Cesario, so Viola as a man. So, thinking Sebastian is Viola or Cesario, Olivia proposes to him. See, all these twists and turns are happening. Sebastian is obviously stunned. He doesn't understand why Olivia is proposing to him. But Olivia is thinking that Sebastian is Cesario. Sebastian obviously is stunned, but he accepts as he finds that prospect interesting and quite advantageous to him. He finds Olivia to be attractive too. In the meantime, Malvolio starts behaving strangely in front of Olivia, as he is merely following the instructions in the love letter wrongly given to him by Maria. Olivia thinks he has gone mad, and they all put him in a room. Also, we have now Antonio, Sir Toby's friend, who wants to marry Olivia. Not having any other way now, he challenges Cesario to a duel. But it is Sebastian that they challenge. They think Sebastian is Cesario. Sebastian wins the duel. In the meantime, Andrew wants to meet Sebastian and he is arrested as there was some conflict with Olivia's household before. He appeals to Viola because Viola is looking like Sebastian, thinking that she is Sebastian, and she does not help. Andrew feels he has been betrayed. So all twists and turns are happening, all confusions. All this drama finally is ended by Viola, and she confesses that she is not a man. Okay? That there is no Cesario, that she only put her name as Cesario, that her brother is Sebastian and not Cesario. She also confesses that secretly she had always loved the Duke Orsino. Finally, what happens? Duke Orsino, who anyway loves Viola, even when she was disguised as a man, he found her or him attractive. So he is delighted to marry Viola. Sebastian is delighted to marry Olivia. In the meantime, it is revealed that Sir Toby had secretly married Maria the maid. So everybody is getting married at the end. Notice that. Malvolio is released from the room as Maria confesses that she had written that love letter and it was false. All ends well except for Malvolio. At the end, he gets very angry and gets out of the room because he is fooled. So this is obviously a comedy. Now, what are the themes in the story? Pure lightheartedness, but with no deeper significance. This is seen in the twists and turns of the story, as we just saw now, and fun elements, including making fun of Malvolio's seriousness and strictness by giving him a false love letter. Unbiased gender roles. Many people have talked about a very modern way in which Shakespeare looked at man and women from this play. This is striking in the play. Orsino is attracted to Viola, though she is a boy, as Cesario. Olivia is attracted to Viola, dressed as a man, though he or she is a girl. Also, the women characters, like in real life, are real, not slaves or having no mind of their own. This shows that Shakespeare could show women as real and equal to men, like in real life. Like in real life, there were no class divisions. It comes across like this: people are shown as all strong. Maria is witty and intelligent, though a maid. Viola, as a servant boy in disguise, is given great love and respect by Duke Orsino. Overall, all people are real, human, not slaves or masters or stereotypes. So the themes that emerge are: the characters are human, not just stereotypes; light-hearted living, love and marriage is given importance, unseriousness, and no gender bias. Also, the absence of any grandeur or deeper themes is clearly evident. The characters are the common people we meet. The fun is the kind anybody would find funny, but the fun is not overlaid by deep satire or anything. The dialogues are a full demonstration of Shakespeare's genius. Here comes his genius. He makes full use of witticisms, fun dialogues, and makes full fun of all the situations that are in the play. You can well imagine. That's why it's a huge hit wherever it is played. It is an out and very typical and brilliant Shakespeare comedy. So that is Twelfth Night, and the significance of Twelfth Night, the beautiful play, one of the greatest comedies of Shakespeare. Thank you.